There's a line across the room, soft and pale but not too soon, stretching slowly on the floor, like it's been here once before. Walls are waking up in gold, shadows shifting as they go. I don't move, I let it stay, watch the night just fade away. Nothing speaking, nothing loud, just a quiet growing sound in the way the light expands without asking for my plans. Every corner turns to view something simple, something new. Not a change I have to chase, just a soft and steady pace. I don't need to hurry through. Morning finds me where I am. First light on the floor, I don't need much more. In the calm, in the glow, there's a rhythm moving slow. First light in the room, chasing out the gloom. In this space, in this day, I can find another way. Dust is dancing in the air like it's floating without care. Every second settling in somewhere quiet deep within. I don't try to name the feel or decide what's truly real. There's a comfort in the view, letting light just come through. First light on the floor, gentle as before. Nothing lost, nothing new, just a different point of view. First light softly grows, no one really knows how it turns, how it stays in these early quiet days. Maybe this is how it starts, not with plans but open parts. Let the morning take its place without needing any chase. First light on the floor, I can breathe a little more. In this light, in this way, I begin without a say. Open the curtains slowly, let the morning find the room. Silver shadows start to soften as the sunlight starts to bloom. Coffee waiting in the kitchen, bird song hanging in the air. Nothing loud or overwhelming, just a quiet kind of care. Before the clocks begin to speak, before the rush gets hold of me, open the curtains slowly, let the golden light roll in. Every little ray reminds me the day can start this gently. Open the curtains slowly, breathe the morning peacefully. Jazz and sunlight side by side, like the world is waking kind. Dust is dancing in the window. Tiny stars in amber light. City rooftops turning color, leaving behind the night. Piano playing from the speaker, soft enough to barely know. Still it wraps around the morning like a warm familiar coat. Funny how the smallest view can make everything feel new. Open the curtain slowly, watch the sleepy sky turn gold. Every quiet little moment feels warmer when you let it unfold. Open the curtain slowly, nothing more you need to be. Coffee, sunlight, gentle jazz, and a little room to breathe. You don't have to chase the daylight, it arrives all on its own. Sometimes peace begins exactly where the morning light has grown. Open the curtain slowly, let the sunlight fill the air. Morning resting on the piano, and soft jazz everywhere. Window opens with a sound, barely more than moving air. Something shifts without a plan, I don't question how or where. Curtains breathe a little wide, light moves softly to the side. There's a change I didn't make, still it finds me where I stay. Cooler air along my skin, like a thought that settles in. Not a feeling I can name, just a quiet kind of change. Nothing asking me to move, nothing I have to improve. Still the room is not the same since that window came undone. I didn't need to do too much, just enough to let it in. Open window air, something lighter there. In the room, in the day, I can feel a different way. Open window breeze moves through quietly. Nothing forced, nothing planned, still it lands right where I am. City sounds are far away, like they've softened in the day. I don't need to follow through every noise that passes by. There's a rhythm I can keep in the way I breathe it in. Not a moment I control, just a space that feels like home. Open window air, nothing I repair. All the weight I used to hold feels a little less to hold. Open window light, everything sits right in this calm, in this space. I don't need to rearrange. Maybe change is always small, not a shift that moves. is it all just a door left open wide, letting something new inside? Open window air, morning settling there. In this light, in this way, I can ease into the day. Kettle singing in the kitchen before the morning fully wakes. Soft blue light across the ceiling and the sound the old floor makes. Vinyl turning near the bookshelf, low saxophone and drifting rain. Coffee waiting by the window like a calm I can't explain. Nothing perfect, nothing planned. Still the morning understands the sound of the kettle and jazz, slowly letting the dark night pass. Steam and music fill the room like a quiet kind of bloom. The sound of the kettle and jazz, moments moving soft and vast. No big answers left to find, just a softer state of mind. Someone walking down the stairwell, keys and footsteps keeping time. City buses start their humming under pale and silver skies. Brush drums moving like a heartbeat, trumpet warm and slightly worn. Funny how these little noises can make you feel less alone. Maybe peace is not complete, maybe peace is small and brief. The sound of the kettle and jazz, holding tiny moments fast. Coffee cooling by my side while the daylight slowly climbs. The sound of a kettle and jazz, making simple mornings last. Every note and every breath feels lighter than the rest. Before the phones and crowded streets, before the pressure starts to speak, there's a room where time moves slow, and nowhere else you need to go. The sound of a kettle and jazz, morning glowing through the glass. Steam dissolving in the air. Quiet comfort everywhere. Cool towel underneath my feet brings me back to something real. Not a thought I need to chase, just the way the morning feels. Every step is soft and slow, like I finally let it go. All the things I couldn't name fade before they take a shape. Coffee's waiting where I left, light is falling through the rest. There's no rush to make it right. everything is in its time. I don't measure where I stand, just the warmth inside my hands. In the quiet I can keep moving gently through the scene. Nothing pulls me out of place, I don't need to set the pace. Barefoot on the kitchen floor, I don't need much more. In the calm, in the day, I can feel my way barefoot, slow and free, right where I should be. In this light, in this room, everything can bloom. There's a rhythm in the ground, in the smallest kind of sound. Every step becomes a line, drawing me into the time. Not a moment I control, just a body, just a soul. Finding balance in between what I do and what I mean. Barefoot on the kitchen floor, nothing to ignore. All the noise falls behind in a quieter mind. Barefoot here I stay, let it come this way. In this space, in this flow, there's enough to know. Maybe being isn't far from just knowing where you are, not in thoughts that come and go, but in steps you feel below. Barefoot on the kitchen floor, morning opens more. In this light, in this way, I can start my day. Kettle resting on the stove, not a sound but almost close. There's a quiet kind of hold in the way the seconds go. Hands are free, I let them stay. No need to fill the space today. Something in this in-between feels more present than it seems. Light is leaning on the sink, like it's pausing just to think. I don't rush to move along, there's no right or there is wrong. Nothing asking me to be more than what is here with me. Just a moment small and still that I didn't try to fill. I don't need to make it start, it begins without my part. Waiting for the kettle, everything feels settled. In the pause, in the air, there's a quiet I can share. Waiting for the sound, time is slowing down. In this space, in this way, I don't drift away. There's a rhythm I can't hear, but I know it's somewhere near. In the warmth that's yet to rise, in the calm before it tries. I don't check, I don't chase, let it find its proper place. There's a softness in the wait, like I'm right on time, not late. Waiting for the kettle, nothing to unravel. All the noise fades behind in a quieter mind. Waiting without end, no need to pretend. In this calm, in this flow, there's enough to know. Maybe waiting hands and still. Maybe it's a quiet will, not to push or pull ahead, just to stay where I am led. Kettle starts to sing, soft and shimmering. In this light, in this day, I was here all the way. Butter melting on the toast now, coffee dripping dark and slow. Morning light across the kitchen, like a place my heart can go. Window cracked to let the city breathe its distant silver sound. But inside this quiet apartment, peace is finally sitting down. No one asking for my attention, no performance left to give, just the soft hum of the refrigerator and the simple fact I live. Tiny notebook near the table, half-filled thoughts and sleepy plans. Funny how a gentle morning can help me understand. Maybe solitude is not an empty room. Maybe it's a space where the soul can finally breathe. Slow breakfast sun pouring gold into my hands, soft jazz floating through the silence, like the world finally understands. Slow breakfast sun, nothing missing from this view, just a quiet little morning teaching me the love life too. Outside, people chase the weekday, subway doors and rushing shoes. But I let the hours open slowly, like old records playing blues. Steam is dancing from the teacup, plants are leaning toward the light, and for once I'm not afraid of the stillness in my life. Maybe happiness was never loud, maybe it arrives softly instead, in warm coffee, morning jazz, and unmade beds. A peaceful room, a slower breath, a heart no longer trying to escape itself. Slow breakfast sun, trumpet crying soft and low. Every little ordinary moment feels like somewhere safe to go. Slow breakfast sun, stay with me a little while. Let this calm and gentle feeling teach my restless heart to smile. Coffee cooling by the window, vinyl fading with the rain. Nothing special really happened, and somehow I feel whole again. its quiet way through the light and through the air, leaving something gentle there. I don't measure what it gave or compare it to the same. There's a feeling I can keep in the calm I didn't see. Not a moment I held tight, still it lingers soft and light in the way the hours move without asking me to prove. I don't need to name it now or decide what mattered most. There's a trace I carry through in the smallest things I knew. Nothing here was incomplete, even in the quiet spaces. Already enough in the quiet and the soft, in the light, in the air. There was something always there. Already enough, nothing more to become in this day, in this way. I can let it stay. There were pauses in between, things I did and things unseen. All of them have found a place in a slow and steady space. I don't reach for something more like I might have done before. There's a comfort in the truth that the day was simply true. Oh, already enough, nothing left to adjust. All the noise fades behind in a softer kind of mind. Already enough, even when it was rough. In this calm, in this flow, there was more than I could know. Maybe meaning doesn't stay in the things we try to say, but in how the moments rest when we leave them as they are. Oh.